I guess the technical stuff did work after all. So, hi, Ashleigh, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about today's topic. It's going to be so wonderful. So I'm so honored that I get to, share this space with you, and we get to hopefully have people join us and ask us many questions if they want, obviously, about the inner healing work and how to make it effortless.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. And even if people watch on replay, I kind of promised that we would check back in on the comments if there's any questions.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Very happy for that. Them is just either tag you or me, and then you can pass them on, or I will see them too, and then I can.
yes, I will.
Them.
I'll let you know if there's questions. So let's just jump straight in, because as you said, this is such a great topic about how we make our sort of personal development journeys effortless and enjoyable.
Yes. So I love this topic because you are so right. There is a stigma that doing the inner work is hard, that it's difficult, that it's painful. And I think a lot of the reasons people think that is because usually what brings about personal development work is a painful experience. So for me, it was my anxiety. I had got debilitating anxiety called GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, for 9 years. It's something I had to live with, and I managed to heal myself of it naturally. So that's how I actually got started into the coaching industry, but that's another topic. But what happened is, so often the universe or things are telling us you need to change. There's something that something's going on, and you don't listen. And what happens is then you get like this bang, and it hits you right in the face, like something's not working. And for me, it was my anxiety. So I think so many people perceive personal development as hard because they're like, well, the reason it was hard is because it started with a painful experience. And it doesn't have to be that way at all. If you are in tune with your body, if you are listening to what it's telling you on a daily basis, you will know what change you need to make, or where, in what areas of your life you need to grow. And it doesn't have to be super painful. But like I say, so many people have this perception because they're like, oh no, this dark night of the soul. And
yeah, absolutely. And I love how you explain it. And it's so funny because I woke up this morning with this thought, because I was talking yesterday to someone about this exact thing, that how it often takes, that hard time, or as you say, something that hits us straight in the face. For me, it was 10 years of stress and depression. So I took my sweet time figuring it out, right? But yeah, it's funny how it kind of starts with something hard or bad. And as you say, it doesn't have to be that way. So I was thinking what has changed for me. And I guess that the biggest thing, because there's still sort of bad days and I still get hit by something that doesn't feel right. And I'm like, something needs to change. As you say, we do get those clues. So I think the difference is that now I am so much more, I believe that life, I believe more in life now. So I'm willing to settle for a lot less. I don't want to anymore. I think that was one of the things that I was willing to, or even thought or accepted, that was just normal, that it was okay to wake up and be like, oh no, not another day. And so getting that idea that it can be better, not being willing to put ourselves through those hard times, because as you say, they're not necessary.
I think that usually the hard times come about is when you aren't listening and when you aren't living in alignment. So I had a beautiful chat with, I was actually interviewing someone for a podcast yesterday, and we're speaking a lot about being in alignment. And when you're not in alignment, you obviously repeat the same lessons over and over again until you figure out the lesson you need to know from it. Or the universe like literally smacks you with something, you get burned out, you're depressed, you're anxious, you're really struggling with finances. All of those, it's a sign that there's something there you need to work on. But when we miss those messages and we're like, it's just my reality, what happens is it then escalates, and then it comes in this hard, it's a hard lesson. Whereas if you are aware and you actually continuously listening to what your body's telling you, I mean, waking up every day and knowing that you're exhausted and you don't actually want to get out of bed, there's clearly something there that is something you need to change.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a difficult process, you know, doing that change. It's just, if we're willing to listen, the change is going to be a lot easier for us than if we aren't willing to listen, because then it's going to come with a hard knock.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I believe, like you, that life starts out by nudging us. And
Yes.
then, so if we catch it early enough, we can change while it's still pleasant.
Yes.
So yeah, and I think that's the best part for me, or the best gift I got from all those years, is that I explain it like an allergic reaction now. So as soon as I'm out of alignment, as soon as something is off, I pick on it right away, pick up on it right away, because it's just, nope, this is not working for me. And it might take me a couple of days to figure out what exactly it's about. But yeah, like an allergic reaction, I can't ignore it anymore, which is what I did for so many years, just telling myself, you know, get yourself together and it's not that bad, and just push through, and all those things that weren't working.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that we as human beings aren't here to struggle. We aren't here to suffer. And I think that's a big misconception, is yes, there is going to be growth, and yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, but we should never, there will be moments of it, but we should never have to live an entire life where we're struggling and suffering. And I think what's changed is that you are so self-aware, and it's what I teach my clients. The first thing is always awareness. I help them find out who exactly they are, because when you know who you are and you know what you like, what you dislike, you then know exactly what's not working for you in your life, and you know why it's so painful, or why you feel that way about it. I mean, for me, I know that I value freedom. So being in an office job, yes, I was there for an office job for about 2.5 years, but I was suffering in that job. My legs were aching because I was stuck behind a desk from 9 to 5. I was gaining a lot of weight. I was very anxious. I was like, everything was telling me, you're not meant to be in this environment. And yet I continued until eventually I was like, okay, I'm done now. I'm going to leave, start my own business. And I've never been happier. And it wasn't an uncomfortable process. I mean, there was a little bit, because change is always slightly uncomfortable, especially if you so hold on to where you are.
Yeah.
But it was easier for me to move than to stay at that office job that I was doing. And yeah, so that's why it's always like, I know we also want to talk about the fun side of the inner work. And I think the fun side comes from, obviously your mindset is like picturing where you want to be. I mean, I get so excited about scripting about my future, you know, writing about the best day I've just had, or thinking about the version of me that I want to be. And I think that also makes the inner work, it makes it easy, and it makes it fun, because you're constantly thinking about where you're going to be, what life's going to be like, and it starts to instill these good positive feelings, which of course we know energy attracts what we want and accelerates becoming who we want to be. So I think that it's always such a mindset shift. It's, if you think that your growth and the journey is going to be painful, then it's going to be painful. If you're like, okay, I might have a few challenges, but I know that where I'm moving is going to be a lot better than where I currently am, the process is so much easier and more enjoyable.
Absolutely. And especially, you say, knowing that you can get there, because I think that's the difference. All those years, I didn't actually believe that I deserved a better life, that it was possible for me. So that actually made thinking about what I wanted painful, because I saw this beautiful, you know, vision of future, but I believed that I couldn't get there. But as you say, as soon as we trust that, of course, we're meant to move forward, we're meant to expand, we're meant to become more and enjoy our lives, then it gets fun. And it's even okay not to actually be there yet, because, you know, life's a journey and all that, but that hasn't sunk in for me until now, where I'm actually enjoying every day, even not being there yet, because I know I'm on my way.
Yes. Yeah, it's almost like, if you know that every day you are taking the right steps to have the life you want, how can you not think that you won't achieve it? It's inevitable, because there's no way that you can't achieve it, because you're literally taking the exact steps you need in order to have that life. And something I agree, this is why a lot of my clients come to me, is because they want something, but they don't believe that they're worthy and deserving of it. And that's because a long time, someone told them something, they thought something about themselves, and they decided they didn't deserve it. So I'm going to give a practical tool, and that might help a lot of people today. And I don't know if some of the people listening or watching know about human design. Obviously, I'm a projector, and a big lesson for projectors is self-worth. And this is how I found this technique, because it not only helps me as a projector, but it helps everyone who's feeling like they're not good enough or not worthy or deserving of their life. So what I do, and what I did, especially in the beginning of my business, because I was needing to increase my self-worth, was write yourself a love letter every single morning. And it doesn't have to be pages and pages. It can literally be 3 or 4 lines, just telling yourself how incredible you are, how your gifts are helping others, how you were so kind to someone yesterday, literally honoring yourself. And it might feel a little uncomfortable at first, because we have a hard time recognizing how amazing we are. But I promise, stick with it, and you'll start to notice how you start to change internally. It's like you almost feel this like increased sense of self-worth, and you're like, you know what, actually, I do deserve that. I definitely deserve that, because you're starting to recognize yourself and how incredible you are as a person, and what you have to offer yourself and others.
Oh, I love that one. Love letters to ourselves every morning. Thank you. That's a really, really practical, hands-on and doable tool, isn't it?
Yes.
And I find, as you say, it might be uncomfortable at first. Some of us, we don't even take compliments from others, but then having to give them to ourselves can be even harder. But I find that the very first step is believing it, even in your own little bubble. In the morning, you're sitting there with your journal, even believing it there. That's the first step. And then it might take a little practice until it gets strong enough to sort of survive out in the real world, I find.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone's in a different place. Some people can take on new beliefs very quickly, where they almost instantly are like, actually, I believe that about myself. Where other people might take a bit of a slower process. So there's something called a belief bridge, where it's, even if you don't believe, so obviously with affirmations, you affirming to yourself, you know, let's obviously stay in the theme of self-worth and feeling good enough. So you'd be like, I am good enough for in this moment and every moment to come. Now, some people that might feel really sticky, which means that their body is still rejecting that belief. So there's a belief bridge where you start by saying, I'm in the process of believing that I'm good enough in this moment and every moment to come. And you continue to say that, and one day something will just click where you like, I am good enough. It happened with my client, and she messaged me and she's like, it's finally clicked. She's like, look what I can say to myself now. I am good enough. And I was so happy for her, because I was like, yes, I can see it, and I've been wanting her to see it. But obviously she had to go through the process of becoming comfortable with telling herself that. And it depends how much unworthiness or conditioning that we had growing up, where we felt so unworthy or not good enough for life. So each person will be different. But if you're someone who's watching this and you're like, well, actually saying I'm good enough doesn't feel right, try the belief bridge. I'm in the process of believing I'm good enough, because you are still intending to feel good enough. And eventually that I am in the process is going to fall away. It will be incredible.
Yes, I believe that's a very helpful way to do it, because if you take it too far and you stand there looking in the mirror and I'm amazing and I'm perfect and I'm everything, if you don't believe it, if there's a little voice inside you shouting, no, I'm not, then it's actually counterproductive, I find, because then you just create struggle within yourself. So I think that's a very useful tool to bridge it, and think of it as a bridge to start out. Maybe even, I want to feel this and I'm on my way, and now I have the tools to move forward.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's where it starts. So I love that. I think also what's so nice about doing the personal development work, and I think it's when you get into that space where you know everything you're currently doing is helping you just feel better and become that best version of yourself. And you know what it feels like, because when you picture it and you can imagine it, it's meant for you. Like whatever you desire is destined for you. So when you can picture that version of yourself, it is you. It's just something that you're working towards. So there are so many ways to make the personal development fun and exciting. So like I'll do a bath ritual where I'll put, there's a brand, I don't even know what the brand is, but they've got prosperity like drops that you put in the bath, like essential oil. Something like that's fun and it's exciting. And then like journaling or meditating with the moon, or you know, doing a self-care ritual where you listen to these affirmations that are just empowering, or a motivational speech while, you know, washing your hair or painting your nails. It's like you can surround yourself with all these incredible ways to make that personal journey development so much fun. It doesn't have to be this hard grind, get into the ugly stuff. It's exciting to, you know, you maybe use journal prompts and you recognize what's been holding you back for like 10 years. You've had this one belief, you know, that success, I had a belief that success would mean it would take freedom away from me, and one of my big values is freedom. So it's like, well, the more successful I am, the less time I have for freedom. But when I shifted that belief in that my business actually gets to be a vessel for freedom, everything changed my business. I started attracting more clients, more money. The way I showed up was different because obviously I wasn't repelling things away. So it's like when you have these breakthroughs as well, you feel it's like liberating. And I think that's when it feels liberated from these version of ourselves that are just stuck in this like rut, or we feeling we don't want to get up in the morning, we don't want to go to work, and that's obviously a clear sign that you're not meant to be living this way, because it obviously isn't working for you at all. So it's it's about finding the fun in that process and doing cool, you know, different manifestation techniques. Yes, some of them I think some of them, you know, are a bit like woo-woo, and they don't, not all of them work. Depends, but it's about enjoying yourself and trying these things in your personal development journey, because it doesn't have to be difficult and painful. It can be exciting and fun too.
Absolutely. I love how clear your message is, because I'm still in the process of, you know, I believe it, but I spent so long living the other way that I'm still catching up a little bit to that. So I believe it on the inside, but getting to that place where I'm sort of living it 100%, I'm definitely getting there. I am well on my way and I'm enjoying every step of it. But but if someone is watching this thinking, oh my God, I want some of that, will you share your links with us, and I can put them in the comments for people to reach out and find you?
Yes, absolutely. So before I obviously finish with and share my links, I do want to say I love that you're saying I believe it, but it's still coming, or you still like you're in the process of being exactly where you want to be. So there's like, it's called I like to call it an energetic waiting room. It's basically like you've now decided what you want, and the universe is just recalibrating to help you like align your life into what you want. So even if people get very impatient in the journey and they're like, but I've done this work. Yes, you've done it, and you don't have to do it again, because you've really worked through it. And when you fully healed something, or you fully let go of a limiting belief, and you've looked at all the possible ways that all of your, you know, however you're showing up in life is linked back to that limiting belief, the process is so much simpler and easier. And next time a limiting belief comes up, you know exactly how to move through it. So just know that the energy that you like you're like moving towards you want to be, but the universe is also helping you move there. So you sort
absolutely
waiting room, and for those who obviously want to accelerate the process of going through difficult emotions, because as we know, sometimes, like I said, you do start your journey with a bang, and it can be very painful. What I like to do is, I know we may have spoke about it, is I like to include my Reiki healing in with my mindset work, because when you start to do the mindset work, you start to bring up beliefs or painful emotions, things that you can sit with for a while. And if you don't know how to process and release them from your body, which can be done in many ways, Reiki is such an incredible tool for that, and why I always give my clients a bonus complimentary Reiki session when they sign up for one-on-one with me, because what Reiki does is it helps move that stuck and stagnant emotional energy that you're holding onto out of your body and replace it with new, healing, positive life force energy. So I know that is also such a fun way when it comes to doing the interpersonal development work and making it effortless, is that you can have support where people are holding space for you, where people are making the process of doing this personal development journey so much easier.
Absolutely.
And facilitating, like say, with the Reiki healing, helping you shift through those emotions quicker so that you accelerate your success quicker. So you accelerate where you want to be quicker. Because the longer you hold on to those emotions, the longer you are setting yourself back in a way, because you are just allowing them to circulate and lower your overall vibration. Reiki is incredibly powerful and energetic upgrade, but also to help you just clear out what is that's coming up. So I usually tell my clients, I'm honest in the beginning, it's going to be like 2 or 3 weeks where things are going to come up, you're going to feel a little uncomfortable. Let's do a Reiki session then to help facilitate that process and to move it through. So there's such a beautiful blend of, like I said, making the personal development work fun by obviously going and seeing someone who can help with like energy, healing modalities. Like I said, having the fun, the bath rituals, the manifesting with the moon, journaling, all of that. So yeah, so just did want to add that in, because I think that some people feel the pressure of having to do it all themselves, and that's not the case. You literally have an incredible support team. You can reach out to people. You can go for Reiki healing. You can work with a mindset coach. And, there's lots of support out there if you to help you through this personal development journey, and obviously accelerate it, but also make it more enjoyable, which I think is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank
perfect.
Thank you so much.
Share my links before before we end today. So if you want to follow me, they can. It obviously depends where they really want to connect more. Instagram, I'm at Ashleigh Camilla. I'll obviously the link will be below. Facebook, I have an incredible group called it's called Serene CEOs, and there I teach a lot of mindset, manifestation, and business alignment. And then also I have a podcast called Serene CEO, and so it all depends what kind of if you want to listen, if you want to watch, and receive trainings. But those are my links, and my website is ashleighcamilla.com, and then everyone can go and see what other things I have to offer, find out more about the Reiki, the mindset, and some incredible freebies are there too.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's catch up soon. So
yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me on today. And I obviously would be very happy to answer anyone's questions. They can just tag me or you in the comments below, and then and then you can send it to me.
We'll
and I'll
be right there. Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much. I'll chat to you soon.
Yeah, will do. Bye for now.
Bye.